in the Banu Sa'ad bin Bakr community. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma says that Banu Sa'ad, this tribe, sent a man by the name of Dimam radiallahu anhu on their behalf. He went to meet Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to find out about Islam, to bring information to his community. فَقَدِمَ إِلَيْهِ. So he comes to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina Munawwara. He knelt his camel outside the masjid and he tied the camel. Then he entered the masjid. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting with Sahabar radiallahu anhu. The Imam radiallahu anhu was a strong-built man. He had long hair. And he comes and he stands right there by the Sahaba. And all the Sahaba are sitting in the masjid. And he posed this question. Ayyukum ibn Abdul Muttalib. Who of you is the son of Abdul Muttalib? Meaning, who is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Because he heard about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he's not a Muslim yet. But he comes by the masjid, he comes into Medina Munawwara. But interestingly, he affiliates Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to his grandfather. Because Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the son of Abdullah, then the son of Abdul Muttalib. But Abdul Muttalib was very famous. He was the king of, the chief of Makkah Mukarramah. And your grandchild is also your child. So in that way, who is Ibn Abdul Muttalib? So what's interesting is, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is sitting with Sahaba radiallahu anhum. But he posed the question. What this teaches us a lot about the humility of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he sat with Sahaba, he sat amongst them. That's one lesson. The humility of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even though he stood out, but he didn't portray himself. Even though he was the greatest, but he was amongst his Sahaba radiallahu anhu. That a man had to come in and had to verify who is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is something really special about the humility of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he was with his ummah and his ummah was with him. Something else very interesting that we learn. Sahaba used to follow him so much that they all probably looked the same. Yes, there are ahadith that show Sahaba was simply dressed and so forth. But a lesson here is that Sahaba also used to dress in accordance to the Sunnah. So they were also looking like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in dressing and so forth. That's just a lesson we can learn from here. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam responded, I am Ibn Abdul Muttalib that you are looking for. So he said, a Muhammad, to verify, are you really Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, yes. So he then addressed, Ya Ibn Abdul Muttalib, oh the son of Abdul Muttalib, I'm going to ask you a few questions and I'm going to be harsh. So don't get angry. فَلَا تَجِدَنَّ فِي نَفْسِكَ. Don't get upset with me in your heart. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I won't get upset. You may ask. So we understand that he is a Bedouin, and sometimes you get different people who will ask in different ways. Sometimes, now as a scholar, you and I, as students, people will ask in harsh ways. We have to be cool, we have to be calm. And we have to ask Allah to assist us in helping and guiding and answering people, especially when they are harsh. He's actually saying, I'm going to be harsh. Just don't get angry. And Allah's Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that don't worry, I won't get angry. لا أجد في نفسي فسل عما بدالك. So he said, I ask you in Allah's name. Allah who is your Lord and the Lord of those who came before you and the Lord of the entire universe and all the people after you. Allahu ba'athaka ilayna rasulan. I'm asking you in Allah's name, the creator of the entire universe. Did Allah send you to us? Is this true or is this something you fabricating? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, indeed, by Allah. Allahumma na'am. By Allah, this is true. Then he said, again, I ask you in Allah's name. Allah who is your Lord and the Lord of those who came before and the Lord of the entire universe and the Lord of those creation that will come after. Did Allah command you? Did Allah send you to advocate to us that we must worship Allah alone and not ascribe partners unto Him, and we should denounce idolatry, andad, that our forefathers were involved in? Did Allah send you with this message or did you come with it on your own? Allah's Nabi said, indeed, Allah has sent me with this. Then he asked again, with the same emphasis, by Allah I ask you, the creator of the entire universe, did Allah send you with this message to teach us about the 5 daily prayer? So what we learn also, he wasn't a Muslim. He comes into Medina, but he knows about the 5 daily prayer. So how did he know? Sahaba gave him da'wah in his community that he came from. So many a time, Sahaba gave da'wah. So people knew about Islam. Some embraced Islam at Sahaba's hands, and then they came to Medina Munawwara. Others came to meet Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as delegations to verify. Like now his community were inspired, but they sent him to verify. So something interesting. As a non-Muslim at the time, he knew about the 5 daily prayer. So many a time, I ask you, there's so many non-Muslims in the world today. Very little do they know about Islam. And that means we are not doing da'wah amongst the non-Muslims. In the locations, in the communities, in the people. Majority of non-Muslims don't even know the meaning of adhan. They don't know what is salah. They don't know how beautiful is Islam. That you talk to Allah directly. You talk to your creator, not ancestors. It's not a religion for one race or for one nationality or for one people. They don't even know what does Islam mean. So we have to educate them. The fact that people don't know today much about Islam, meaning the non-Muslims, is an indictment upon us. So what's the lesson here? He knew about the 5 daily prayer. Yes, indeed, Allah sent me to teach you this. Then then he asked more questions about the other fara'idul Islam, faridatan, az-zakah, was-siyam, wal-hajj. So this is the latter Medinan stage where all the ahkam had come already. Can you see? And each time he's asking Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. At the end, when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam answered all his questions, he said, فَإِنِّي أَشْهَدُ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ وَأَشْهَدُ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدًا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He says, now I make this announcement in front of everyone. I bear witness that Allah is one, La ilaha illallah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Rasulullah. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So he has now embraced Islam. He took the shahada. Then he said, and I will perform these fara'id and I will abstain from what you prohibited me from. And I will do as you said, not more, not less. La azidu wa la anqus. And that was it. He went to his conveyance, and as he left, Allah's Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the man who has long hair and his hair was plaited, meaning dhul aqisatain, who had just come, the Imam. This man, if he's truthful to his word, that he will do as we taught him, he's guaranteed Jannah. So amazing, he embraced Islam, he came, he now went to his community. And he promised to fulfill the 5 pillars of Islam and all the injunctions. But what's interesting is what happened thereafter. Because this is a Sahih report. Then, historically, there's another beautiful continuation of the same incident. He goes to his conveyance, he unties it, and he goes on his camel straight to his community. فَاجْتَمَعُوا إِلَيْهِ. His town, everyone, he gathers them. فَكَانَ أَوَّلَ مَا تَكَلَّمْ. The first thing he said to his community, بِئْسَةِ اللَّاتِ وَالْعُزَّى. Lat and Uzza that you were worshipping, O my people, is the worst thing ever. They're telling him, Mah, ya Dimam, no, Dimam, don't say that. Ittaqil baras, ittaqil judam, ittaqil junoon. Be careful. Your skin, you'll be afflicted with skin disease, with leprosy. You'll become insane. Don't negate these deities, these gods. So Allahu Akbar. He says to them, وَوَيْلَكُمْ, what is wrong with you? These are idols, these are inanimate objects. لَا يَضُرَّانْ وَلَا يَنْفَعَانْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَعَثَ مُحَمَّدًا بَعَثَ رَسُولًا sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَأَنزَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ كِتَابًا. Allah sent His Nabi, Allah sent to you the book. And this book will save you. And he said to them, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. And the book will guide you. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And I have come to teach you ما أمركم به وما نهاكم عنه. What Allah's Nabi advocates to you and what He prohibited you from. And by Allah, this is what He says and this is what He says. In this report of Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anhu, that same day, فوالله ما أمسى من ذلك اليوم وفي حاضره رجل ولا امرأة إلا مسلما. His whole community embraced Islam. Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anhuma says, we've never heard about a better delegation and a better messenger who returns with a message to his people than Dimam bin Tha'laba radiallahu anhu. The next report says very similar, وَبَنَوْا الْمَسَاجِدِ وَأَذَّنُوا بِالصَّلَاةِ. And in the area, they built masajid and they started the adhan and the salah. So there's so many lessons. His community heard about Islam. He went to learn about Islam. He came back to teach his people. He established the 5 times daily salah and the 5 pillars of Islam in him and in the people. And they established masajid. This is what you and I have to do. Like Hazrat Dimam and like all the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. Bring the whole deen alive in us while we are here, practice while we are learning. But we're not learning only for ourselves. We're learning to practice in ourselves and we're learning to share this with our people and the whole wide world.